A heartbreaking discovery tied to the deadly human smuggling operation right off of our coast, what authorities have just confirmed. And a South Bay homeowner at the center of a court-ordered eviction is in trouble again after another suspicious house fire. Now investigators want to know what happened to hundreds of thousands of insurance money. This as San Diego landlords say they are out tens of thousands of dollars after tenants stopped paying rent. One property owner just gave up on the courts. Around San Diego starts now. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and we'll look ahead in just 30 minutes. We do begin with an update on that deadly smuggling attempt off the coast of Del Mar. After the Ponga boat overturned just earlier this month, a 10-year-old girl had been missing ever since. Well, now authorities have confirmed a human foot that washed ashore at Torrey Pines State Beach indeed belongs to Mahai Patel. 3 others died that day, including her 14-year-old brother, both from India, and their parents were also hospitalized that day. Meanwhile, most of the immigrants on board that boat are no longer in custody. A federal court has ordered them to remain in California as material witnesses in the upcoming trial of 2 of the men accused of piloting that vessel. Well, now to a La Mesa father, Jalil Johnson. He is facing multiple felony charges, including domestic violence, child endangerment, and evading police. Prosecutors say he strangled a woman, then fled with his 2 children, ages 5 and 7, triggering a high-speed chase that injured a police officer and ended after his own father stepped into traffic to stop him. Johnson was eventually caught and tasered by officers. He pleaded not guilty in court. Bail was set at $1.5 million, and the judge issued protective orders for both the woman and those kids. And another police pursuit shut down the 5 around Del Mar in both directions on Memorial Day, one of the busiest travel days of the year. Some drivers even ran out of gas on the freeway because they were sitting out there for so long. What started off as a traffic stop in Imperial Beach for reckless driving turned into a standoff with California Highway Patrol. Officers used a spike strip to blow out the front tires, but the driver kept going. So officers used a pit maneuver to spin the car and box him in, but the driver still refused to give up. Unsure if the man had a weapon, officers shut down the freeway in both directions for nearly 2 hours. Using pepper balls, the man was eventually gassed out of the vehicle. Drivers caught in this mess say the worst part was they really had no warning.
It just stopped, just straight stop. And it was like that, and
straight stop and
did not move.
It was really bad. Like, we ran out of gas, and then I had to call AAA.
My car's at 0 right now.
Low on gas, need to use the restroom, on our way to the beach.
Oh, yeah, the driver was taken away eventually in an ambulance. CHP officers believe he was under the influence of some sort of substance. As for the freeway, traffic began to slowly pick up after that scene was cleared. And a South Bay homeowner facing court-ordered eviction is back in legal trouble after yet another suspicious fire. We have learned $200,000 has vanished since the last insurance payout. Former homeowner Lisa Golden's attorney wanted insurance to pay for repairs, but the city attorney says the money from the first fire is nowhere to be found. After the first fire, insurance sent a $200,000 check to the home in Golden's name to pay contractors for repairs. Instead, the work was canceled and the money is gone. The court-appointed receiver asked for the home sale price to be dropped by $92,000 due to fire damage. And property owners say that eviction process is broken. Many say they've experienced eviction gridlock, and that's when a tenant stops paying rent, but the legal process won't let the landlord kick them out. CBS 8's Brian White talks to landlords and a tenant advocate.
So what we're doing now that we have the tenants out, we've ripped out the kitchen. We're going to do all new appliances.
Dana Logston is remodeling now after his tenants left in April after 6 months of not paying rent.
And I would request, when can we expect a payment? Yeah, we don't know. We're working on it. That's all they would ever say.
He lost $22,000 in rent over those 6 months, so he hired an attorney. Rather than go through a lengthy legal process, he chose to cut his losses.
He negotiated and said, look, if you guys leave now, we're going to forgive it, but they could have drug it out another 6 months.
For Trent Ralston, who rents out a 2-bedroom condo in Mission Valley, he says his tenant moved in and stopped paying rent after the first month. And that was almost a year ago. And it's cost him $30,000 and a lot of personal anguish.
The wedding plans had to stop. The Pop Warners and all the other plans had to stop because the financial burden got really high. It's so much that we had to refinance the house to be able to afford this.
He's gone through the legal eviction process. The judge ruled in his favor, but now he's waiting on the sheriff's office for a lockout. Eviction attorney Seth Barron says from filing paperwork to actually removing the tenant, the process can stretch out to 8 months or longer.
There's a lack of funding in the court system, right? There's one judge to hear 9,000 cases a year, and that's put an immense burden on the court, who's trying their hardest, but is simply understaffed.
Tenant advocates say the court system may be slow, but it also protects renters from illegal or retaliatory evictions.
There's, all kinds of reasons for why a tenant might withhold rent, but they want to make sure that they are protected by the law to do that. And in some cases where, it goes through the court process, it could take a very long time.
Meanwhile, Trent is still waiting for this nightmare to be over.
I've got my lock in the car ready to go, so as soon as I get that call, I'm ready.
Brian White, CBS 8.
Brian, thank you. Well, meantime, the South Bay Union School District is moving forward with plans to close Central Elementary in the 2026 to 27 school year. Meanwhile, Sunny Slope and Berry Elementary schools may be granted a reprieve. This after parents and teachers passionately fought back against a proposal to close all 3 schools. South Bay Union School District leaders say this plan is necessary in the face of declining enrollment, due in part by the sewage crisis and anticipated budget shortfalls. But many parents and teachers do not want any school closures.
Nothing is about what can we do for our students, it's what can we close. How can we save money? Our job is not to save money. Our job is to educate, to build our communities.
Yeah, the board said a second and third school need to close in the coming years, but did not specifically name Sunny Slope or Berry. We'll keep you posted. Coming up, the Chula Vista mayor's message of triumph, what it means for the future of the South Bay. And a solar showdown at the state capitol as lawmakers consider a bill that could cut down on rooftop solar owners' benefits. What's at stake for current homeowners? Well, one of the victims of the Tierra Santa plane crash was honored this week. Martial Arts Gym, the training center there in PB, held a memorial open mat for San Diego resident Dominic Damian. Damian was a big part of that community, having a passion for jiu-jitsu. We are told he was a black belt, friendly, smart, and just an all-around great guy. Those who knew him are still stunned by the loss.
Just an amazing guy, super friendly, super smart. He's actually the first guy I approached to be the coach here when I opened this place, just because I love the way that he does jiu-jitsu, the way that he's able to relay information, just a nice, great guy.
Yeah, Damian was among 6 people who died when that small jet crashed into a military community in Tierra Santa last week. The other victims have been identified as 42-year-old David Shapiro, 39-year-old Daniel Williams, 25-year-old Emma Huke, 24-year-old Kendall Fortner, and 36-year-old Celine Marie Rose Kenyon. Well, the San Diego Police Department just held its annual memorial ceremony to honor the officers who sacrificed their lives while protecting our community. This year, the ceremony honored Officer Austin Machitar. Officer Machitar was killed in a fiery pursuit crash in Kearny Mesa last August. The Machitar family attended as his name was added to the department's memorial monument. A memorial wreath was presented at the monument before a bell was rung for every fallen SDPD officer. And making Chula Vista's dreams a reality. That was Mayor John McCann's message in his third State of the City address, delivered at the newly opened Gaylord Pacific Resort this week, showcasing the city's bright economic future. The Gaylord, which was decades in the making, is generating thousands of new jobs, according to McCann, as well as an estimated $475 million annually for the local economy.
It was a true uphill battle for the future of the city of Chula Vista. And now, today, we can declare victory.
Yeah, the mayor's speech also touched on upgrades to Chula Vista's oldest fire station and expansions to its police force, as well as plans to open the city's new Millennial Library in the summer of 2026. And state lawmakers could vote on a controversial solar power bill. It could change the way rooftop solar owners are compensated for the energy they add to the grid.
No, AB 942. No, AB 942.
Yeah, people protested the idea at the state capitol. AB 942 is authored by Assemblymember Lisa Calderon, who says early adopters of solar are getting such a high price for the excess energy they produce, they avoid paying for the cost of the grid. She says that leaves those who don't have solar to pay those costs.
In total, the cost shift onto non-solar customers is roughly 25% of a non-solar customer's energy bill.
Well, they're lying. There's a dozen economists that have completely debunked that claim that somehow solar customers are to blame for high rates.
Yeah, so the Solar Rights Alliance says what's being ignored is all the energy that rooftop solar is providing that utilities do not have to pay to create. AB 942 initially proposed to cut the 20-year term to 10 years, but that was removed. Now the argument is over what happens if someone with a favorable contract sells their home. The current rules say the new owner inherits the previous solar agreement. Under this proposal, they would get a much lower rate for their energy. Well, San Diego's iconic beach bonfires could be on the chopping block as the city looks to close a major budget gap. More on that debate next. Welcome back. San Diego is facing deep budget cuts, and beach bonfire pits could be on the chopping block. The city is grappling with a projected budget deficit that could swell to more than $300 million. As CBS 8's Alex Lai reports, while the city looks to cut costs, a private company is offering to step in for special occasions, but it won't be cheap.
It's not your typical beach bonfire, but if the city of San Diego allowed these on their beaches, it wouldn't cost them anything. In fact, they could make money through their permits. It's the customers that would have to pay. Beach bonfires are a San Diego tradition.
It's just kind of a staple for the beach here.
But keeping them running costs the city about $135,000 a year. Now they're on the budget cut list as San Diego tries to close a $258 million deficit driven by falling revenue and an increase in employee pension costs.
This is a family-oriented place, so I think it's a bad idea if they take them away.
Offering a potential alternative is Blue Light, a company providing full-service bonfire setups at some state beaches in Coronado.
We set up an entire event, no need to deal with anything, we do everything.
But customers have to pay. CEO Renee Contreras says permits for customers in Coronado cost $400 to $500 per day. Then Blue Light charges $375 and up.
We could accommodate for about 100 people here, so great for family reunions, weddings, corporate events.
One of the benefits of a fire with Blue Light, their propane setups leave no smoke or coals behind.
No one's going to get smoked out. We're not creating any new harmful material and smoke to the local community as well.
But in San Diego, commercial use of the sand is banned under the street vendor ordinance.
What we're trying to do is just simply make an amendment to that where we could allow qualified businesses who are insured and certified to go out there and meet the demand in a very safe way.
In addition, he's hoping for bonfire zones in Pacific and Mission Beach and lower permit costs.
For something much smaller, we'd love to get the permit price down a little bit more so then that way more people could enjoy.
The mayor's office tells CBS 8 the budget is still under review and they haven't heard of Blue Light. But for now, San Diego fire pits stay first come, first serve.
I mean, there's no price limit on it. You reserve your spot.
The San Diego City Council is expected to vote on the final budget by June 10th. Alex Lai, CBS 8.
And if you are headed to the beach, county leaders are sadly still warning people to stay out of the water near Naval Air Station North Island due to unhealthy levels of bacteria from the ongoing Tijuana sewage crisis. Disappointing for many visitors and also disruptive to businesses and residents.
I drove 3 hours from LA to get over here to these beaches. Everyone talks about how wonderful the San Diego coast is, and look at what we come to this beach. We can't even get in the water.
We know it. So the EPA recently announced plans to fast-track repairs and expansion to the South Bay wastewater treatment plant. Also, a new report card listing our best beaches is up on CBS8.com. Well, the Birch Aquarium is showcasing one of the sea's most mysterious creatures, the Orfish. CBS 8's Abby Black shows us the strange deep-sea giant now on display in La Jolla.
It's huge. What is that? A child's wonder echoes through Birch Aquarium's newest exhibit.
Wow, 11 feet?
An 11-foot, 7.5-inch Orfish specimen found washed ashore in Encinitas last fall now captivates visitors.
Daddy, this one's taller than you.
For the record, this male is considered small.
So how deep do they live?
We're about to dive deep, real deep. Welcome to the home of one of the ocean's most mysterious residents, the Orfish. These ribbon-shaped creatures can live anywhere between 500 to 1,000 feet underwater, where the sun barely penetrates. They're quite growers, starting at 2 to 4 millimeters when they hatch from their eggs. The juveniles develop these ornate and elongated dorsal fins when they reach 2.5 feet. But they can typically grow 10 feet. Some have even known to reach a staggering 36 feet in length. That's the height of a 3-story house, making them the longest bony fish in the world. No wonder sailors once mistook them for sea serpents.
How cool is it?
The mythology behind these sea creatures is fascinating. The Orfish Recent Discoveries exhibit explores Japanese folklore that claimed oarfish washing ashore once warned of disasters.
We're just really excited by all those stories and also excited to dispel them in a way.
Orfish are rare in California. You see, only 22 have been spotted since 1901, with 2 washing up in San Diego County last year.
No, they live kind of in the midwater.
Oh, okay. Manager of the Scripps Institute of Oceanography Marine Vertebrate Collection, Ben Fravel, says the mystery remains on why they grow so long.
One thought is that they have this special adaptation to their digestive system, and always having a full stomach may allow them to grow to these very large sizes.
Their silvery skin mimics jellyfish, and they feed without teeth.
They have this special jaw that they're able to push forward out of their mouth, and in doing so they generate suction, and they're able to kind of slurp down this krill.
The big question remains whether recent California beachings linked to changing ocean conditions.
Are they here because of climate change? Will more wash up this year? Remains to be seen.
At Birch Aquarium, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Very cool to see. They will be on display all throughout the summer. That will do it for us. Thank you for your time. Thanks for staying informed. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.